All right, a very good evening to you, traders. A very good evening. I hope you all are well, and I hope you're having a great evening so far. Welcome to MGR Forex Trading Live Trading. Here we are once again, another night, another evening, another day of trading, and we're here to get right into it. As you all may know, we are a division of the Francis Group Incorporated, and we've been in this industry for not at least, but we've been in this industry for about 4 to 5 years officially. All right, without any further ado, I'm going to hop to my chart, and we'll be focusing today on some currency pairs. We have a channel, a YouTube channel, designed to go ahead and trade all aspects of the financial market. Now, when I say all aspects, what do I mean by that? I mean we go into commodities, energies, synthetics, cryptocurrencies, currencies, stocks, stock indices. We have a separate channel for each of those industries, for each of those asset classes, and all the links to those channels will be in our description below. So you'll be very happy to make use of the free information that is actually available to you all. So go ahead, have a look at those channels. I can assure you, you will only receive value from that. That is one of our most important, tenets that we live by at the MGR Forex Trading, that we are going to find ourselves providing value. And yeah, we go ahead and we certainly do that. Okay. Today on my chart, you're going to see it's quite full. There's a bunch of horizontal lines. It's actually an indicator. And the indicator is known as the MGR FX semi-automated system. This is a custom-made indicator that I've created myself. I am somewhat of a programmer, a software developer. I am able to create this, and I did so as a result because I saw a need for it, to automate certain processes that are rather mundane and yeah. So I decided, this is a good idea. Let's do it. And so I did it, and that was really all that is to that. To be honest, that was the reason why I did it. So here we are. We had a triple bottom that we saw over there, changing market structure, and we then had a lovely run towards the upside. The indicator then placed our buy level to indicate to us that we are going to change market structure. Now, this buy was only placed after the candle closure to confirm that we actually had a change in market structure. Now, I don't mind revealing the method of trading to you because you obviously have no access to the indicator. Unfortunately, it is a paid service. It is something that I created myself, and it is proprietary. So unfortunately, I can't simply go ahead and say, here you are for free, give it to you. Can't do that. I have clients who pay me for my mentorship, and it would be a disservice to them if I simply gave out too many things for free. Trust me, they're very angry at me already. But right, aside from that, we're going ahead, and this was effectively what happened. We are approaching take profit 3. I normally close it at around take profit 2 because that's good enough money for me. I'm not concerned too much about having to go ahead and make more. Once I make my money, I'm happy. I walk away, and that's that. So I would run at least a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. I'm looking at around there. I'd close my position at around this level, and that is effectively what I would have gone ahead and what I would have done. It's the greatest privilege for me to sit behind a computer screen and make money trading. There's nothing better than that. There really is. It's one of the greatest gifts that has never been experienced by any generation that came before us. Perhaps the millennials, you could say, those born 1990s, etc. But before then, this simply was not available. And for us to be able to enjoy this is a privilege in and of itself. And that's something that we have to find ourselves being mindful of. And I think we tend to overlook that quite often. That we have so many blessings in life that we do not find ourselves appreciating that and being grateful for the opportunity. And it's obviously one of the opportunities. Now, am I going to sit here and speak and give you a whole lecture about life and show you only one opportunity that we could have taken? Of course not. You should know me by now. I'm a guy, I'm a gentleman, and I'm going to show you many, many more opportunities that we could have found ourselves taking advantage of. Let's go ahead and let's have a look and see. This is a sell, totally incorrect. I'm going to change that. Now, you're mindful, obviously. It does occasionally do this. It is sadly a technology. It is a tool that we utilize, but we don't rely 100% on that. And I want to be as transparent as what I can be. You know what? Sometimes you have an incorrect signal. Doesn't mean you got, it doesn't mean that this is the gospel in the sense that you're going to follow it to the T. No. If you can clearly see, we were in a downtrend, we broke the downtrend, we had some odd price action occurring over here, a run towards the upside, a run towards the downside, certainly a run on liquidity. Yes, we had this. What does it mean to us? Nothing. Be patient. Be calm. And in doing so, you would realize that, in fact, we were bullish because we have not broken the low, the swing low on that scenario. Yeah, we broke internal lows, but the swing low remained intact. So yeah, that was what occurred. And obviously, you had a lovely long, place a stop loss below the swing low. That was over there, and yeah, I can have a take profit running at a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, which we have just attained right now. Yeah, really, it's odd, being able to sit back and let automation do the work. And do that is really something that's profound. It's never really, you don't experience this very often, but every now and again you do. And it's really, you must take time to appreciate it. Otherwise, it just goes by the wayside and you forget about that at a later stage. All right. That, of course, was GBP/USD. I'm going to head back to my hourly. And that's basically the hourly time frame is the main time frame that we utilize this indicator on. But sometimes we may move up to the 4 hourly and the 2 hourly, or maybe down to the 50-minute or 30-minute. Again, you must do your market structure analysis, your price action analysis before you implement the indicator. The indicator normally serves as a confirmation to your bias. All right. I always love USD base and quoted pairs. Now, you might ask yourself, why does Michael Francis love USD base and quoted pairs? Good question. I'll tell you why. It's simply because the US is the global economy. Anything that happens in the US is going to have a ripple effect on every single other economy in the world. That's reality. Tariffs increase prices across the entire world. And I don't think we have to go into too much depth with regard to what's happening in Iran at the moment or in the Middle East. I should not name drop any specific countries because that's not very professional. But yes, in the Middle East, there is some conflict happening over there, and that is, of course, having an impact. Most notably, the oil prices and the price of petrol and diesel has increased quite significantly, especially in South Africa. That has seen quite a significant impact. Yes, for those of you who don't perhaps know, I am a South African national. Subject to change, of course. You never know what might happen in the future. We may need to evaluate our nationality. That goes for anybody, not only for myself, of course. So, yeah, just put it out there. All right, we had our buy and closure above the buy. And we're looking at a 1 to 2. We're going to have to potentially get up all the way up to take profit 3, going close to it, but I'm seeing a lack of bullish presence over here, so hopefully we can see some New Zealand. I mean, it's Friday tomorrow, so we can chill for a bit, Using a bit of slang in my live streams. Yeah, we can relax for some time. It is Friday tomorrow. It's going to be NFP, so I'm happy to hold this through NFP. And we can see how things go in that regard. Of course, if the price is going to increase, it means that the US dollar is going to appreciate in value, indicating that it's going to cost more New Zealand dollars to purchase a US dollar. So yeah, we're looking at that. Let's see what occurs. And all we can do is be reactive at this point. But yeah, aside from that, let's head over to the next one. I'm just going to go over to as many currency pairs as possible. I want to keep these live streams as short and sweet as possible as well. This was a sniper entry in the totally incorrect direction if you believe that. But if you know for a fact that we were in a lovely trade over there, Within my 30-minute time frame, you would see that you actually had your confirmation like that. It's beautiful watching this play out. It's been such a long time since I've seen a clean respect on support and resistance levels. But yeah, I'm happy to see that. Neckline of the information, as you can see here, this double top formation. Neckline broke, we broke the trend line, we retested this particular level, also retesting a level of resistance, and price has a lovely run towards the downside. Does trading get any simpler? Is the question you might ask yourself. Let's see. Of course, you are looking at hindsight, and you might be thinking to yourself, this guy's trading hindsight. That's nothing, man. Blah, blah, blah. This was an area of not concern, but a point of interest. There's many words for it. An area of confluence, more notably used by us at MGR Forex Trading, an area of confluence at around that level there. So yeah, that's literally all that it was. USJPY, that was quite nice. Let's continue going down. USD Swiss franc. I think I'll stop after a couple of examples, and then we can go ahead and break down something, have a discussion, etc. Yeah. Alright, this was USD Swiss franc. I'm actually not using my mouse today. I'm using my touchpad. I think I should actually change over to the mouse because I'm moving this chart all over the place, all over the show. I'm not using my mouse. Such a wonder what a difference a mouse actually makes, when you are out here doing this. Alright. I'm going to draw my trend line, which I have. We've broken the trend line. Keep in mind that this trend line has been respected multiple times. And it came all the way from the 23rd of March. It's a 2-week trend line on the 30-minute time frame. So you might imagine this is, took some time for us to break this and actually have it run towards the downside. But okay, here we are, and we have our sell. This is somewhat of a head and shoulder charting pattern. So you might see this left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder. We broke the trend line. We kind of retested the neckline to some extent. Not entirely, but to some extent we did. And yeah, that is effectively where we are. I'm going to take up my sell position. Look at that sell there. Stop loss above the head. And we can have a take profit running nicely towards there. I closed at this level because I was happy with that. There's no need for me to continue holding my position all the way down. I'm happy with this 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. All right. Apart from that, is there anything more I should do? Should I break down some more? Honestly, this indicator is just great. It works so well. What is the downside to it? It can take you up to 2 weeks to actually get a proper entry. So you're looking at 2-3 trades per month. That's around about 1 trade per week. But generally, at least every 2 weeks, you should have 1 trade on one asset pair, of course. If you do end up trading multiple asset pairs, it means you have to have a much bigger watch list, and you have to spend a bit more time on the charts to ensure that everything is moving according to your plan. But yeah, that is one thing that you could potentially do. You can manage it. And as much as this is more towards my YouTube-based audience, it is also for my own traders. You're welcome to watch these live streams, send your questions in the chat, comment whatever your opinion might be. This guy is talking a whole bunch of nonsense, man. He knows nothing. Whatever it may be, I can assure you, I know perhaps a lot more than what you do. I've been in this industry for many years, since I was in high school, which was quite a number of years back. And this was effectively something that I decided I'm going to master this and ensure that I know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, Again, I've been doing this for many, many years. I trust myself. And apart from effectively being a master at this, apart from or claiming that I am a master at this, you know, it's been years. You certainly learn over the years how the market reacts, what brokerage to work with. Oh, ooh, apologies for my exclamation just now. What brokerage you should work with? Now, traders, this is a very important conversation to have. What brokerage should you work with? First of all, a reputable brokerage, one that is regulated, strictly regulated by the strictest regulatory bodies that are present in the world. That's number one. And we've all heard of the stories of people losing their funds with offshore brokerages that are not perhaps regulated, brokerages that are just out to make money. And ultimately, that's what we all are here to do, but not at the expense of others. And I think that's so important. And this doesn't only extend to brokerages, but it also extends to mentors, to introducing brokers. It it certainly extends to all the individuals within the space. And honestly, I'm exceptionally happy at the fact that there's a lot more stricter regulation occurring, not only based in South Africa, but also in multiple different areas and jurisdictions in the world. And it's a good thing because the amount of scams that have been occurring within Forex and crypto trading is is a shame. It's saddening. I personally know individuals who have lost money not only to scam brokers who open up 1 year, 3 years down the line, they close down, they take all the clients' funds with them, they disappear off the face of the earth, and that's money that hard-earned money that people have you know worked for, hoping for a better living, only to be taken advantage of. And that sits with personally. I mean, obviously, from my own opinion, and I must obviously be mindful about my own opinions as the CEO of a company. But that doesn't sit well with me, with many people that I know who are also CEOs or directors of their companies within the space as well. And you want to make a change. I mean, that's the reason as to why individuals will pay you for your mentorship, because it's your time. First of all, it's my time, my mastery, etc. But it's them realizing that there's a gap in their life to where they want to be, and they want to bridge that gap by seeking education. And reality of the situation, I think needs some water right now. Tongue is twisting all over the show. The reality of the situation is the fact that there is not enough formal education that specializes in this type of retail trading. In fact, I'd argue and say there's almost little to nothing that I believe is available to the public. Perhaps in other countries, but I know in South Africa in particular, there is only one course that I believe that is offered by the University of South Africa, and that's specialized in stocks and shares trading. But that is very, very different from trading contracts or trading contracts for different CFDs. Very, very different. And again, I want to make this clear to everyone sitting and watching this video that this can change your life. It can. It has changed mine. It has changed many people that I know as well. And we all already know, and I think this is a very important thing that I want to actually have on the record. I have not spoken about this besides in very small private circles with many important people around the lovely round table. And we spoke about this in depth with regard to the state of the world economy. And I want you to now think, and if you made it this far to the video, well done. First of all, well done. You certainly are not like the rest. I'm proud of you. Good job. It's actually a very serious talk that I want to have with you all. Just briefly, before we break, and I'll end soon. I'll end the video soon, but before I do, just listen to this very, very important discussion that I'm going to have with you now. And I want to word this as carefully as what I can word it, with you understanding what I'm trying to tell you. So, where do I start? The world economy is exceptionally in a very, very bad scenario. Every single potential market you might be thinking of is inflated. Not only the AI bubble or whatever the technological bubble or whatever it may be, AI stock bubble. That is one thing in and by itself. AI is certainly providing value, but I don't believe it's providing as much value at the pace or at the valuation of the company. I don't think that. That's my opinion. But at the same time, every single other component or asset, not asset class per se, but every single other market, financial market, is overinflated, is effectively within a bubble. I know they may have called it the everything bubble, you may have heard of it, but that is effectively what is occurring. Now, this might be common knowledge for some of us, and for others, it might be the first time you're hearing of this. I don't think it is, and there's been enough marketing around the everything bubble and about everything being inflated, but nothing is being spoken about government's plan to reduce its expenditure, number one, and the amount of debt that it currently has on the balance sheets. Nothing is, or not much is being spoken about that. The US has the most debt in the world, a couple trillion, and likewise to many other countries who haven't even fully, recovered from the COVID-19 lockdowns. Many have, but they have kind of accommodated that lockdown with debt, and they haven't serviced that debt as yet. At some point, it has to come to an end. We cannot be overexpending or spending more money than what we are producing goods and exporting goods. So it must come to an end. The question is, when it does, do we have another scenario like 2009 with the housing crisis in the US, which had a decent impact on many other economies in the world? The difference is that every single other economy in the world, as far as I'm aware, as far as we are aware, is experiencing an increase in housing prices, an increase in energy prices, an increase in goods and services, inflation, effectively. It is a very interesting scenario we find ourselves in. And it is also a scenario with the most amount of opportunity as well. I know this can be broken down so much more further if you were to go back and look back at history and look at the exact same time that we are now in history. And look at the last couple 100 years and see the trends that have been occurring. And it is something very interesting for you to look at and to research. Of course, within my own private community, we have this discussion quite often. Not quite often per se, but we certainly discuss this in length and in depth to position ourselves favorably so that when time comes, and it will come, we are ready. We are ready for the opportunity that awaits. Because again, when we have these massive market sell-offs, when you have these effective, these Black Tuesdays, October the 29th, so be mindful of that. When you have these Black Tuesdays, what exactly does it mean? It's simply a wealth transfer from those who were ready and to those who weren't. The question is, what are you doing, traders, to be ready for the next wealth transfer? That's where I'm going to end it. Have a good evening, traders. Keep well and keep safe. I'll catch you again in the next live stream. Cheers, guys.